Are there Whovians in the house? Yeah, all right. Well, my name is Tony. I'm so excited to spend some time with you. And so, you know, he's an artist, he's an actor, a writer, a director, and a musician. And so, please welcome to the stage the lifelong Whovian fan himself, the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi! Is that from the future? It's so advanced. Well, welcome, Peter. You know, as the Doctor, you travel all over the galaxy. There's no place you haven't been, but how about Minneapolis? Have you been to Minneapolis before?
No, I haven't. It's been great. We've been here for 2 days. We've been to see the Mississippi. We've been to the Middle District, the Warehouse District, and talked to lots of friendly people. It's been lovely.
Can someone shout out? Is there a restaurant he needs to visit while he's here? Did you get that? All right, settle down.
So many restaurants, so little time.
After the convention, go to the restaurants and he'll meet you there. So we, you know, obviously there's tons of questions and fans that the fans are going to ask. We have a couple different mics set up here, but before that, you know, we would love to know, what was young Peter like back in the day? Like, you know, what was your fandom and what were you into? What were you excited about when you were a kid?
Well, when I was young, there wasn't all of this. There wasn't any merchandise, and there wasn't any way that you could follow the thing that you're interested in, other than you know, drawing little pictures of it, or maybe buying the one comic that they had, in which Doctor Who featured. So I was just really into Doctor Who and horror movies. I loved horror movies. They used to show on a Friday night in Scotland. They used to show, you know, Hammer horror movies with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, and Dracula movies, and sci-fi movies, B-movies, all of that stuff that was largely consumed through TV.
And you know, you've spoken before about your fandom for Doctor Who. Was there a certain Doctor that you sort of felt more into?
No, I mean, I grew up with Doctor Who. The show started when I was 6, so obviously the first Doctor Who is the first Doctor Who to me. And Neil Gaiman wrote a very interesting piece about Doctor Who when he said in it that the first Doctor Who wasn't an actor. You know, that he was Doctor Who. But everybody after that was an actor playing Doctor Who. But he was this mysterious figure who, you know, I didn't know he was an actor who'd been in other films and been in other shows. He was just this mysterious creature. So he's the kind of baseline of all the Doctors, really. He has an essence of mystery around him that colours us all.
And we've seen you interacted with Doctor Who before you came into this role, right? With parts in Fires of Pompeii and then Torchwood. You know, there was some roles there. Can you describe the moment when it became real that, oh, you might possibly play the Doctor himself? Like, what was that like?
I didn't think that I would ever play Doctor Who. First of all, I have to explain to you, I didn't go through my life every day waking up going, oh God, I'm not Doctor Who. You know, I know I have to go and do that terrible job on Prime Suspect or whatever it's supposed to do, you know. I didn't spend my life mourning the fact that I wasn't Doctor Who. I just was a great fan of Doctor Who, and you know, I'd love to have been in an episode. What do you know, one day they rang and said, would you like to be in an episode? Yeah. I said, yeah. My wife said, I think you should read the script before you just agree. I thought my involvement with Doctor Who would just be appearing in Files of Pompeii, and then I got to be in Torchwood as well, which was fun. I've forgotten the question. What was the question?
That moment when you discovered that, oh, I'm really going to play this part. Like,
what did that feel like? It was really wonderful, as you might imagine. But I was dressed as Cardinal Richelieu at the time. I had a long black cloak on, and thigh-high boots, and a red cloak, and I couldn't tell anyone. And I had to do this whole scene. I can't remember exactly what it was I said because my mind was lost to me. I can even remember seeing my dresser when we were doing this, when I'd just been told, scolded me and said, because he had to have put the boots on, which were really difficult. He said, "You're not here, Peter, you're not here, where are you?" And I couldn't tell him that was in the cosmos.
Was it a protracted sort of audition, or was it really quick?
It was sort of drawn out because I was in Prague, so they had to get me back. It was finding a time when we could all get together. I mean, initially my agent called and said, "How would you feel about being the new Doctor Who?" And I thought, well, you know, how do you think? So I just laughed when she said that, and then I said, "Well, what does that mean? How would I feel about being the new Doctor Who?" And she said, "Well, you know, they'd like to talk to you about it." And so we had to arrange a time to do that. Because also I had to know that they were going to do a Doctor Who that I was interested in. I didn't want to be a Doctor Who if it wasn't in a show that I didn't like. So I had to know where they were taking it and stuff. And so it took us a while to get together, but we did get together. That was all cool. And then there are all these, the BBC has all kind of executive levels that all has to go through. And so it took a week or two for finally all the top people to say yeah. So that was it.
Well, you're well aware of the fame that follows along with Doctor Who. And after a few years into it, is there anything that still surprises you about the Doctor Who fandom?
I'm always surprised that anybody knows the show really outside of Britain. I mean, I don't mean that facetiously. I mean, walking around Minneapolis yesterday, I mean, I was stopped by about 5 people who recognized me from the show. We did selfies and stuff like that, and they were all really lovely, but I just don't, I'm always just amazed that they know me, that in Minneapolis, people in the street can recognize me in the street from being on a show.
And all over the world.
And all over the world, you know, in New Zealand or South Korea, or, you know, it's extraordinary. That's a constant surprise. But also, I have to say, the people that I meet in the street or here or wherever are generally so smart and nice and creative. And that's always, it's always great to meet people like that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, why don't we go to some of these questions with this? I can barely see, I'm sorry. So right over here, I think it's the yellow shirt. Yeah, go ahead.
What is your favorite villain from Doctor Who?
Well, my favorite, I guess, from my time, do you mean my favorite villain or my favorite monster?
Either.
Okay. All right, well, let's do both. Because villains, I would say, are Davros is a villain. And he was played magnificently by Julian Bleach in our show. Julian is a wonderful actor. If he was sitting here, I wouldn't know who he was. because I only ever saw him with the Davros face on, and he just does the Davros voice all the time. Michelle Gomez, I think, is my favorite. She plays Missy and she does that magnificently with a great sense of fun and evil. You know, she'll do something very nasty to you while telling you a joke. So she's my favorite villain. But monsters, I love the Daleks. Sorry, I've got to say, I love the Daleks. I love the Cybermen, particularly the Mondasian Cybermen, obviously, who are coming back. And from the old days, I like all the creatures from, there was an old episode called The Web Planet, where they had these weird insect creatures called the Zarbi and the Noctra. I love those. I love, Weeping Angels and all those guys. So, you like Weeping Angels? Is that it?
But my favorite one is the Daleks too.
Yeah, you're in my club. Fantastic.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead. We need this mic up over here.
Right. Okay. So Doctor Who has been built in a lot of incredible locations, and I really liked the building that was in the last episode, Smile. And I was wondering, what was your favorite location?
I think we go to Tenerife quite a lot, and my cousin has a pub there, so like
You really like going there.
No, I don't, he doesn't have any information. Yeah, no, I like, when we went to Tenerife, that was nice. That's Spain, that was Valencia, so that was pretty amazing to go there. You know, I'll be honest, I love being in the studio in Cardiff, because I love walking into the studio and seeing what they've built. And for instance, the episode Thin Ice, which was set on the frozen River Thames, was all in the studio, which was fantastic to see what Michael Wood, who's the designer of Doctor Who, and his team do. Is extraordinary. And I love walking in there and finding a spaceship and seeing a corridor. I'm going to be running up and down that corridor all day. That's fine. So yeah, I actually prefer studio. Although sometimes in this, in the forthcoming season, we did a lot of stuff. We went up various mountains and valleys, and we'll see that later on in the show. That was fun to be, because although I've been in Wales for years making the show, I never get to go anywhere except the studio. So it was nice to go and see some bits of Wales that were very spectacular.
Thank you so much. Let's go ahead.
Hello, my name's Elijah, and my question for you is, I know you mentioned the Mondasian Cybermen are returning, and they're my favorite version of the Cybermen. Do we actually get to hear their voices?
Yes.
Yes.
I haven't heard their voices yet. I heard voices when we were doing them, but they weren't the actual actors doing voices.
Please.
Hi. Okay, my question is, since you brought this kind of rock and roll essence with you with the Doctor, with your guitar and your sunglasses and stuff, I have a question about, from Minnesota we have Dylan, and from Scotland you have Donovan. I'm personally a fan of Donovan, but it's like the Beatles and the Stones, or Donovan and Dylan. I need you to choose between Donovan or Dylan.
They're tough here in
You can do it.
Minneapolis.
It's not a trick question.
So you're treading sacred ground now.
Donovan's what they call me Mellow Yellow.
That's correct.
And Dylan is Lord of the Wind. I with all due respect to Donovan, who I think is fantastic, who I've met, and he's lovely, and comes from Glasgow.
Exactly.
This is where I come from. So how fantastic to do what he did. You haven't been to Glasgow.
Not yet.
Right, well, to do what he
I've met
did.
Donovan.
Okay, well, for Donovan to do what he did, coming from where we come from, where, you know, that is totally new stuff, is amazing. But Bob Dylan is just astonishing. He's just incredible. So I love him. I don't want to choose between them. Because I I'm sure they're both nice guys, but the one that I listen to more is different.
Thank you.
You know, in our session a few minutes before this, you shared a little bit, speaking of rock and roll, you shared a little bit about the why the guitar and how it got chosen. Would you mind telling that story again?
You mean where we went to choose and all this stuff, or just the guitar?
Yeah, why the guitar and then where you went?
Just after we finished my first season, I put together a little email. I thought some ideas and things that I thought the doctor might be able to do, and one of them was play the electric guitar, because I always thought it'd be great when you saw the TARDIS spinning through space. You'd hear these power, smoke on the water or something like that. Just for fun, and he'd have some giant amp that he made himself from all valves and stuff like that, and then he'd be the guy who introduced Jimi Hendrix to feedback and stuff. So we didn't go with all that, but they said, yeah, we think you should have a guitar. And then I opened the script, and every episode I'd have a guitar, and I'd be playing music and stuff. And of course, there'd be songs that I'd have to learn how to play. So that was very exciting for me, because I got to play these versions of various songs, most of which got cut out. But of course, when you do, I play them on the set, and I sort of do okay. But then when I see them on the show, it's like Eddie Van Halen or someone else plays them or something. So obviously there's a guitar piece you get to kind of do stuff. But the best day ever was when they said, well, you've got to go and buy the doctor's guitar. So I had to think about what guitar would the doctor have. And so I thought, well, they should have something fairly classic, like a Fender, this is for the guitar geeks, like a Fender Stratocaster or a Telecaster or something, maybe a Les Paul. But when I went to the guitar, they took me to this road in Soho, which is just full of all vintage guitars. It was a brilliant, it's one of the best days of my life. Here's the guitar shop. You can try all of these, and one of them will be yours. But every time I tried on the Stratocaster or the Telecaster, I looked like a guy who was having like a kind of midlife crisis. I always wanted to play the guitar, but I never got around to it. So now I'm like 58, and I saved up a lot of money, and I'm going to buy a guitar. What kind of guitar should I get? Okay, strap the guitar. Where are my leather trousers? Skip my leather trousers. And my motorbike, I'm going wild. So that's how I looked when I had the Stratocaster. So let's not do that. And then in the corner I saw this weird guitar that looked like someone had described a Fender Stratocaster to someone who had never seen one. And who didn't have a picture of one. And so made a guitar that they thought looked like this description they'd heard of a Fender Stratocaster, which is a little bit 50s, with some wings on it and stuff. And I thought, that's perfect. That looks like the doctor made it himself. So that's the one, which is actually a Yamaha guitar, which is not that old, but it's great. And of course, the funny thing is you have the guitar on the set, and we have it in the TARDIS. It's always there, even if we don't use it, and everybody plays it. You turn around and somebody's playing Stairway to Heaven or something over there, smoke on the water over there. It's great fun.
Awesome. Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Hello.
I'd like to ask some advice. I've 8.5 years ago, I started dating my husband, and I've been married for 1.5 years. What marriage advice do you have? Like past the puppy dog stage. You wear your wedding band in every episode, so I love that.
Well, I won't take my wedding ring off, because sometimes when you're an actor, you play a role and they say take that off. And I think, the idea of taking it off for like 10 months is just, so they made a special ring that sits on top of this ring. So the ring the doctor wears is a piece that sits on top of that with a little gem in it. My wife is here today. So she's amazing. So, well, first of all, the advice is marry someone amazing that we love.
Got that.
But the best advice is be kind.
Thank you.
What does your wife think of all this just crazy fandom? everything that comes with the mantle of Doctor Who. What did she think of it all?
She was never interested in Doctor Who. You know, like a lot of men, it was a secret thing that I was into at the time. She never really, she didn't really, she found it mildly embarrassing, kind of. And I would still be interested, you know, I'd come home with a Doctor Who magazine. What's that you got there? It's nothing, darling. Are you reading those Doctor Who magazines again? I think she's, we're both blessed really to have this amazing life that the show has given us. So, but she knows much more about Doctor Who now than she ever did before.
Yes, she does. Go ahead.
Hello, Mr. Capaldi, Corey.
Hi, Corey.
Thanks, I really wanted that. Hi, Corey. I was just wondering, what's the Doctor doing when we don't see him on camera? Is he like in the kitchen arguing with the TARDIS about what kind of food to eat, like if he's a diet? Or is he going back in time to see stuff? What does the Doctor do that we don't see on camera? Like, what's he doing just when he's not on adventures?
Well, I think he does, he's always on adventures. And I think, and in fact, in that episode, Listen, was a kind of, when we sort of glimpsed, that was an episode really that came out of, we saw him in the TARDIS on his own, doing what he does when he's in there on his own, which is noodling over ideas about possible things that exist in the universe. In that instance, he believed that there was a possibility that if you had the feeling that you were being watched and you turn around and there was no one there, it didn't mean that there wasn't anyone there. It meant that there was something there, but it had the capacity to vanish when you looked at it. So I think he's always working on these kind of problems and things. I think he's not human.
Yeah, so he's not just jamming on the guitar, sitting in the TARDIS.
No, I think he might from time to time, but I think his relationship with the cosmos is quite different to ours. So I think he doesn't have downtime in the way that we have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Capaldi, and enjoy Minnesota.
Thank you. You call me Quarry.
How about what does Peter do when he's not on Doctor Who adventures that maybe not as many people know about? Like, what's sort of like, you got anything, hobbies or anything that you share?
I just sort of play guitar, watch TV and eat and stuff. Hang out with my family. That's the best thing. Really.
You have a TV show that you are just totally into?
Oh, I love The Sopranos, and Mad Men, and all that kind of stuff. Game of Thrones, I love Game of Thrones.
There's got to be an episode of Doctor Who somehow that the Doctor appears in an episode of Game of Thrones. There's got to be an episode.
We used to, Maisie Williams was on Doctor Who for a while, which was so great. Maisie's so great, I love Maisie. But you know, she was actually filming, she'd come and film with us for a few days, then she'd go back and film with them for a few days, then she'd come back. And I was always like, Maisie, she'd come back and say, you won't believe what we just did. And I'm like, don't tell me, I don't want to know. Though I did want to know, but she could, with the look of her eyes, she can be a spoiler.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Capaldi, I'm Nicole.
Hi, Nicole, I'm Peter.
I'm Peter. Sorry, I'm like really excited to meet you guys. It's my first con, but I actually had a question for you. What was your favorite scene to shoot as your time as the Doctor? Like, what particular scene?
There are so many scenes that I've enjoyed that I can't really pick a specific one. I mean, the thing with Doctor Who is it comes in so many different levels. I mean, you can have a scene that is very intimate and emotional, which is, you know, I loved when we did Farewell to River Song, you know, with fabulous Alex Kingston. It was just so absolutely brilliant and so there and so full of emotion. And you know that you're sort of in a kind of pivotal moment in the show, but it's between two people. Or with Jen, so much of the stuff we did with Jen was incredible. But I also like when we just blow up a pile of Daleks.
Always fun, always fun.
Sometimes my favorite thing is just blowing up a pile of monsters. It's my favorite scene. I just did a whole pile of scenes where I was blowing up a whole pile of Cybermen. That was just so great.
In Hellbent, we sent off Jenna to go gallivant across the universe. And so, what was that last episode like with her? And was it emotional, sad? Or what was it?
Yes, it's very sad. I mean, I think you often find, to say goodbye, when characters say goodbye to each other, they're sometimes more eloquent than the actors are. And the actors who are, we're just, ordinary people, really, well, most of us. And sometimes we're not as good at saying goodbye as our characters are. And I think often in the scene, the emotion that the actors feel for each other is released. So I think that was going on there. So I think that was very emotional. And the way of it is of course, it's you're in a factory. So you do that scene, and then there's another scene that has to go on with, and another scene. And unfortunately, on the day when Jen finished, I had to leave very quickly because I was going off doing something else. So you do all that and you say goodbye. But then you don't really say goodbye because you see them again. And she should have been here today.
Yeah. She told us she couldn't bear emotionally to be next to you again because it was too hard for her. So
she can't stand it.
That's good.
Hi, Peter. I'm Adam.
Hi, Adam.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for your amazing portrayal of the Doctor. Secondly, I'd like to ask you, if Peter yourself could go back in time to, say, 30 years old, what is some advice that you give to yourself?
To when I was 30 years old. Like that's a long time ago. It's so long, it was like a whole different world. I guess it was. When I was 30. What advice would I give to myself? Don't wear those shoes. Those shoes don't go with this trouble. That's what I'd say. I think, well, I guess I can't remember exactly where I was. I just met my wife, so that was lovely. So we were together. We were having a great time. So that was all good. So there was no advice needed there. I guess I didn't know how my career was going to go because you don't when you're an actor. You don't. I wouldn't have imagined I'd be here. I wouldn't have imagined I'd be Doctor Who. I wouldn't have imagined I had this role that took me all over the world. This is what I would say, really. I'd say stop worrying. Because you worry so much about stuff that never happens. Worry about the stuff that you can make some effect on. The world's in a tough place at the moment. There's stuff there that we all have to be considering and reflecting and acting upon. So that's worth considering. But worrying about whether they're doing it this role or that role or whether this would happen or that would happen, it's all a waste of time. I ended up being Doctor Who. So you concentrate on your craft, on what skills and what art you have available to you, and on being kind and helping in the world. I think that's what I would say. Just get on with it. That's what I'd say. Just get on with it.
That's great.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Hi, Peter. What's your name?
My name's Nathan.
Hi, Nathan.
So I have a question for you that you may not be at liberty to say, but in the most recent episodes, you see the doctor behind the desk and you see the picture of River and the granddaughter Susan Foreman. Is there any more significance that is going to come up later regarding that? Because we've never seen anything like that before. We've never seen, a picture of Susan just randomly like that. Is there anything that we can glean from that that's coming in the future?
I don't know. Because I haven't finished yet, you know, we still got stuff to do, so oftentimes I won't have that material, so I don't know. I can't say.
Well, thank you.
To be continued.
Hi, Peter. My name is Thomas. And
Hi, Thomas.
Nice to see an AAPI up there, too. As a Filipino, it's pretty cool.
Oh, thank you.
Tony. Okay, so, Peter, are there any funny or notable behind-the-scenes shenanigans that occurred that maybe you can share us?
Shenanigans. I'm not a great one for shenanigans because I can't ever think of anything to do. But other people do. Jenna used to do a lot of shenanigans. She used to, I can remember I used to ridicule her on a daily basis because she deserved it. But I would often do it by taunting her with the idea of who would come after her. Changing your idea about me, huh? So often I would say there was a specific actress in the UK who I would say was her replacement. And then one day I came on the set and I was acting and I looked up and Jenna was there and she'd had a mask made of that actress. Had her face blown up, was wearing it. So she'd do stuff like that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Peter.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina.
Hi.
The teenage witch.
First of all, thanks for coming out here to the States and
My pleasure.
to be here. I have so many questions, but actually I just have a request. There was a book that came out, Companion's Companion, that Clara Oswald wrote. And there's a section that the doctor wrote a page on it because he found it hidden in the TARDIS and it had like a bunch of trivia and quizzes. So he added a page to it and, you know, put it away. With your permission, could you please read that page? It's really short and I'd like to hear it in your voice.
Sure, there's nothing sassy in there, is there?
No.
Let me take a look at this first before. Master Carol.
Did she write this? Oh no, I wrote this. Oh, Clara, you can't explain me in a book. I'm the oncoming storm. I'm an enigma. I'm Dr. Disco. I'm slightly offended, actually. But I suppose in a way you do know all about me. You definitely don't know how to get around the TARDIS or what my faces really mean, but you understand me. You're bossy, and a control freak and you're brilliant. We really do deserve each other. All of these companions, their memories and their letters and their notes, their long days and their short lives. Short lives. Their journeys with me might end, but my journeys with them never will. I'll put this back when you hit it, and I'll pretend I never saw it. I'll pretend there won't be others, but know this, I'll never forget you, my impossible girl. Yes, nice quizzes. I do like a quiz, so very you. Oh, so many things.
Okay, Mr. Capaldi's not in his puppet, okay? So let's not... Thank you so much, that was awesome. Oh, look at this one, we've got Mini B. Mini B has arrived. Someone want to help me with the mic? There we go. How many Whovians does it take to screw up my hair?
Thank you very much. This is like kind of like a multiple sort of question to it, but do you still watch cartoons today, and also do you like watch, like back then when you were a kid, what cartoons would you watch? You still watch, and do you still watch to this day?
Do I still watch cartoons?
Yes. Stupid question, I know.
Well, my favorite cartoon, which is possibly the greatest program, cartoon or otherwise, ever made, is the Flintstones. There is no greater program. And if it was on, I would watch it. If it had to, but I don't seek it out. I liked Wacky Races, and you can see my age, you see, so it's all like Wacky Races. Scooby-Doo, you know, I had some problems with. Sometimes we get a script, and my criticism of a script might be, the plot's a little Scooby-Doo. You know, we don't want the master going, oh, those pesky kids.
What, Bill Nye the Science Guy?
Pardon me?
Bill Nye the Science Guy. What about him?
Bill the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't seen that. Should I watch it?
Yes.
Bill Nye, so we have an actor, a great actor in the UK called Bill Nye, who's fabulous, who's also been in Doctor Who. He was in the episode with Vincent van Gogh. But there's a guy here called Bill, the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye, oh, it's a rhyme. He's also a poet. Only in America. Poet and scientist. Carl Sagan all over again.
Hey, why? You need to come up here. You need to come up here. You got this
Let's
great
see,
deal.
look at this guy. Look at this outfit. It's fabulous.
Have a seat.
Have a seat.
There you go. All right.
Fabulous.
There you go.
It's the two doctors. Wow,
Having a
there's
time
a
of
weird
it.
temporal shift here. I seem to have shrunk slightly. What colour's your hair? It's brown. So's mine. I use that kind of spray too. You look so cool.
So if you have any, we only have a couple minutes left, and so if you have any troubles with any questions that you can't answer, you can always throw it to this guy. So here you go. All right, where are we? Okay, we're over here. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Have we got any other kids dressed as me? Can't see. Okay.
That's it. Here you go. All right, here we go. All right. We have a question over here.
Hi, Peter.
Hello.
Hi, it's Christine from San Diego.
Hi, Christine from San Diego.
Hey. I know you probably can't answer yes or no on this, but I just throwing it out there that I hope Jenna can be in the Christmas special. It's a new Who tradition, first face.
She can't even be here.
What?
How do you think she's going to manage that?
She'll be here next weekend. Okay.
Wrong weekend.
Right. But yeah, first face the dog receives is always the last face. That's a new Who tradition.
Well, with all due respect, I don't think the new Who tradition, who decides that? That's only, I mean, that just happened last night. Oh, well, I honestly don't know, genuinely, I don't know. Obviously, I'd love to see it.
Just putting out the hope.
Okay.
It would be a great closure.
Well, who knows?
You know, with speaking of, you know, with Steven sort of wrapping up his role as well, like, what's been your highlight of working with him, and what's that experience been like?
The highlight of working with Stephen? Oh, he's just such an incredible writer. I mean, he's such a creative person. Just seeing how what he comes up with and the levels that operate within his writing. I always look forward to reading one of his scripts. I mean, he also does an incredible amount of work on other people's scripts also, which he doesn't go on about, but he does, you know, there are many, there's a lot of material that he has actually written that a lot of people think is the most amazing, incredible Doctor Who stuff. And they say, why doesn't Stephen Moffat write like that? And they don't realize he did write that. But he won't go into that, so I won't go into that either. He's just an incredible creative force, so it's been a privilege to work with him.
Well, we only have time for like one or two questions, so go ahead, Les.
What was your favorite show on Doctor Who?
What's what? My favorite episode? I don't like to pick favorite episodes, so I will say my first episode. Because I arrived.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Erica. This is Adric.
Hi, Erica. Adric?
Yes.
Is he named after the other Adric?
Yes, he is.
Wow, you're hardcore.
Everybody so far has loved the name, so we did.
Oh, I love it. It's great. Do you have any other kids? Davros?
Turlo's on the way.
Turlo's on the way. That's fantastic. He gets that joke. It's so great.
I just wanted to say, first of all, you know, everybody here knows that when a new doctor passes on, you feel disappointed, but I remember the time a friend of mine showed me your picture and said that you were going to be the next doctor, and I was beyond thrilled, and you're not disappointed, so thank you.
Thank you so much. It's so kind.
My brother Timothy told me to tell you, if at all possible, that right next to Tom Baker, you are his favorite doctor.
Thank you, Timothy.
And I was wondering if you could say hello to him.
Timothy.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you? Lovely to hear from you. It's Tom Baker, by the way, for those who don't know. And through it all, I stood tall and did it my way.
Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing the rest of what you do. Big fan.
I got the word that we have a couple more minutes, and so let's try to hit some of these questions. No, go ahead.
Hi Peter, I'm David.
Hi, David.
I have one question. What is your favorite item or accessory from the Doctor Who series?
From my series?
For any season?
Of the whole thing?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Boy. What do you think? What's your favorite?
Probably a sonic screwdriver, but one of my favorites is the sonic screwdriver glasses. The celery. Just the celery.
You know, because of your accent, I thought you said the salary. I thought he's very mature for his age. Salary? Same here, I shall miss that. You know, my favorite thing is the TARDIS. The whole thing. You know, when I was a kid, they still, if you don't know what those things were, these were the days before mobile phones, and there were, even people in their houses didn't have phones. But in the street, sometimes in the street, they would have an emergency phone, and that would be in that box. It would be, that's why it's called a police box. So the police had access to that, and if anyone had problems, they could go and use that phone. And when I was a kid, there was one in our street. I always thought, but is that a TARDIS, really? What's inside it? So I would have the TARDIS, and the TARDIS is the best prop ever.
We're inside, when you open up that door, what's actually on the inside? It's just blank. Blank? What's on the inside of the actual?
What of the door to the TARDIS?
I'm just talking about the prop itself. Like, what do we, when you walk in, what do you look at?
Well, sometimes it's just a piece of green screen. The best thing is in the big set, in the big TARDIS set, and you can see the white TARDIS doors. You can actually go through those doors, and on the other side is the police box. So if people are visiting, I tend to bring them up the stairs, and we enter the TARDIS through the police box doors. Which even though we know it's a conjuring trick, people still love.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Ian, and my question is, before you became the Doctor, who was your favorite companion?
Before I became the Doctor?
Yes.
Probably Joe Grant or Sarah Jane Smith. But also I loved Susan, who's my granddaughter. Andy Chesterton and Barbara, I thought they were great. And Vicky, and Jamie, and Victoria, and K9, I thought she was great. And Ace, yeah, do you want to go on? So, all of them, basically.
All right,
You're welcome.
I think this will be our last question over here, so you have the honors.
Hi, I'm Julia.
Hiya, Julia, how are you?
So you know how every single Doctor has like his own version of the Sonic screwdriver? What's probably your favorite model? Like, what's probably your favorite Sonic out of all of them?
Well, that blue one there is my one. So that's quite fun. That's quite nice. I quite like, to be honest, I like John Pertwee's Sonic screwdriver because it's quite small and neat and fits in your inside pocket. This, when you put it in your inside pocket, rips through the lining. Not this one, because this is a toy one, but the real one is much heavier and it's made of metal and it cuts through the lining of your jacket, which is not cool. And also, I never know where to put it when I'm trying to, we're fighting, the monster's dead, okay, now, where do I put it now? And I always end up stuffing it down the back of my belt, which is fine when it's made of plastic, but when it's made of metal, it's not, it's less cool. It can be tough. That's yours, yeah.
Well, as we close, we are gonna enjoy. We've so much enjoyed the years with you as a Doctor, and I'm kind of come to the close of your run as a Doctor. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans in closing?
I'm not finished yet.